Welcome aboard, Skylark Outdoors here, and today we're going to take you on a review of the Extreme Boats 795 Game King walk around, which we've got right here. Now this is unique because it's got an aluminum hull versus most traditional boats are going to have a fiberglass hull. But these Extreme boats are truly made for extreme conditions, and we're going to go over some of those features. Now this is at a Great Lakes boat show, so this is set up more for walleye fishing, salmon trolling, and trolling in the Great Lakes. But you can see you've got a trolling motor up here on the front, and you've got ample space to walk around on the front deck of this boat. But it really is a 3 or even 4 season boat depending on your climate, and this one is outfitted with twin engines, and you can see it's got a nice high gunnel and it has a nice low center of gravity. Because of that aluminum structure, you're going to have more weight down at the bottom because the aluminum is typically lighter weight than fiberglass. So we're going to go through some of the specifications, but this is a really nicely outfitted boat if you were on the Great Lakes, but you could certainly do deep sea fishing on this. And a boat like this is traditionally what you will see more in Australia than a fiberglass boat. You've got a little bit of built-in shade. You've got some live-aboard capabilities. I wouldn't do it full time, but for a weekend or a couple-day fishing trip, you definitely have the amenities and infrastructure you need, as well as it's just well thought out for fishing, diving, getting in and out of the water. And some of the cockpit features on this, as you can see, they've got rod holders all over here, and then additional gunnel mounted rod holders that you could add in, and then rod holders over top of the fly bridge that you've got right here. Now as we go in, you can see you've got a captain's chair and the passenger chair, both which swivel, which is awesome for being able to see if you got a fish on the line or checking in on your rods. You've got 2 seats here, or kind of a leg rest if you wanted to put your legs out, and then you've got 2 lower seats. Now as we go in, you can see we've got some controls here. What's nice, I do like the little skylight on top to give you some more ventilation. And the other thing I like about even this front window configuration is that you are going to be able to stay out of the elements if you want, but you've got those 2 sliding windows right there to give you airflow. And then you can see you've got your little cuddy cabin up here in the front, which definitely 1 person could sleep in. 2 might be a little bit tight, but you could do it kind of like imagine camping on a fishing trip. And then you've got your throttle controls here, and these are outfitted with Mercruiser engines, so you could do the Helm stick if you wanted, the joystick controls if you wanted. I don't think this one has the joystick on it. You've got your Simrad, but you could change whatever electronics that you wanted in here for how you choose to fish. Overall, though, it's a neat boat. We're going to go over the specifications. It's 26 feet long, 9.2 feet wide. It's got an 8-person capacity, 400 horsepower max power rating. You've got a 21-degree dead rise, and it is 11.1 feet tall on the trailer. You've got a 9'2" width on the trailer, and then it's got a 5mm aluminum hull thickness, 106-gallon gas capacity, and this is probably one of the most interesting, is that you've got 5,500 pounds dry weight. So this boat is lighter than most other 26-foot boats that you're going to see this size with an enclosed helm like we've got here. So you could put isinglass on the back and really close this up, stay nice and warm. They do have options for heaters and stuff like that, so if you're trying to go the early season walleye bite, or maybe you're going for salmon in the fall when it's starting to get a little bit cooler, or maybe you want steelhead, or even wintertime, depending on where you're at in the Great Lakes, you could absolutely do that. But this boat could obviously be used for offshore fishing. It just isn't a traditional center console boat like you would see from most offshore fishing setups. However, with the walk-around features, you really do get a lot of the same benefits. And if you look at offshore fishing vessels in Australia, this is what a lot of people use. They'll use an aluminum-hulled boat like this for walk-around purposes rather than a center console. And usually they want a little cuddy cabin because they do a version of offshore fishing sometimes where they stay overnight, whereas when you're on a center console, most of the time you don't have a place to really sleep on the boat, where this you do. So if you're going remote, that is kind of the theory behind some of the Aussie boats, is that you could stay overnight, camp on the beach, whatever you want, do your offshore fishing for a day or two, and kind of have a home base with this boat. But overall, the fit and finish of this thing is excellent. It's interesting seeing an aluminum boat over a traditional fiberglass boat and just how some of the detailing is done. You get a lot more sharp edges or hard edges. You can see here we've got all kinds of stuff here. Air conditioner. You can also have a heater if you wanted. So you could change the features of this up to whatever you want inside of the boat. You've got a sound system here. Overall, the Helm is really nice, but at 5,500 pounds, this makes for great towing. It's just everything, instead of like a rounded edge that you're going to see traditionally on fiberglass, you get a welded kind of aluminum, I don't want to say sharper edge, but more right angles or more angles just because of how the aluminum fits up. So you just want to be understanding of that. And then you can see the rear platform. I love this on this boat. You've got this swim platform, but you've also got 2 ladders. So perfect boat for if you wanted to go diving. You've got your live well here in the back. I love that extended live well that kind of sits over but doesn't prevent you from bringing fish onto the back. So that swim platform, you can throw those ladders down or you can have them up. You've got kind of like an extra railing there for safety when you got to be on the back, and you still kind of have enough space to pull a fish in there most of the time without even putting that ladder down, but you certainly could if you wanted to. So I love that, and this would make a great boat for diving and or spearfishing with those twin ladders and just nice access, a nice sturdy ladder. So many boats, I don't know why, go cheap on the ladders in the back. And if you've got scuba tanks on and stuff like that, you weigh extra 50 or 100 pounds or whatnot. It's nice to have something more sound to step onto. And you can see this is just outfitted as a fisherman's boat. You've got length lines on the floor there. You've got extra storage for gaff and stuff underneath each side here, and plenty of cup holders, plenty of rod holders, so that you're going to be outfitted for whatever kind of tackle that you need in this. And then you've got ample storage underneath the seats and some of the other compartments here, as well as you've got storage for your gear, as well as a cooler up on the front or top here, and all kinds of different combinations that you can get with a Game King. Overall, I like that it's lightweight so you can trailer it. I think it's an interesting boat with the aluminum hull versus a fiberglass hull, which just makes it a little bit easier to transport. Pretty cool that you can have a little cuddy cabin like this, but still plenty of access for whatever you need. You can see right here, he's opening this up. You've got a little cooktop here under the seat, and then a little sink, so you can have bar time. You can cook a little meal after you catch some walleye. Great to have the fresh catch, but overall, a neat boat, different concept. I think it serves a purpose for if you're a hardcore angler. This is a really cool boat. I could see this out on like Lake Michigan. Maybe you want to make a trip to Beaver Island or something like that, or Mackinac Island. You stay overnight, a day or two, and then go fish wherever you want. Some of those other islands in the Beaver Island archipelago. And maybe you just want to stay on the boat, get very remote. You could absolutely do this. Or maybe you just want to go on Lake Erie, hit the walleye bite early season. This thing's going to feel good. Have the heater on. Don't worry about the wind coming off the lake. You're going to be nice and crispy in there. And then you can see you've got a light bar and whatever electronics you want. And then you've got your trolling motor up here. So you could definitely do some shallow water fishing too. This thing's fairly light. Doesn't have that much of a draft, which is another advantage of 5,500 pounds just in terms of displacement. You're going to have a typically shallower hull. And the 21-degree dead rise, this thing should ride pretty good. You also, with aluminum, aren't going to be as worried about corrosion as if you had a steel hull, so that is one difference as well. So thanks for watching this review of the Extreme Boat 795 Game King Walkaround. Pretty cool concept. We hope you enjoy, and we'll see you next time.